Hey guys, it's Legends Gaming here. Today we have a kind of old school. It's the Batman Ninja on the villain side. This is it's kind of like a fun deck. It's still really good. Now don't get me wrong. Now you're gonna see a couple cards and be like, "Well, why is that in there?" And that's just because I liked it, and it worked pretty well with it. Plus, there's some stuff that we didn't have everything. Um, But I will go through this with y'all. I guess you could kind of say it's a budget villain deck for the Batman Ninja. But first off, we'll start with our level zeros. It's Bane, and at first when he's placed on the stage from your hand, he gets an additional 1,500. And then for one, he can also get an additional 2,500, and then he's sent to your memory at the end of your turn. So he's a very buff start for sure. Then of course we did the Harley Quinn Amnesia, and for a specific reason I'll get into that later. But she's of course level 0, cost 0 for 3,000, so she's still pretty good. And we have 3 of the Penguin Ivy Castle. If it's in the right position of your backstage, the character in the middle position of the center stage gets an additional 1,000 power. And there's Brainstorm for 1, and you rest 2 of your characters. Flip 4 cards from the top of your deck in your waiting room, and for each climax revealed, you choose 1 character in the waiting room and return it to your hand. If you've seen any of the other deck techs, you know that we love being able to return cards from our waiting room back to our hand. That is a big thing for this. Then we have 3 of the Monkey Horde, which you can include any number of cards with the same card name as this one in your deck. So, I mean, you could have 42 of them if you wanted to. I don't really advise it, but it's possible. But when it becomes reversed, if its battle opponent was level 0 or lower, you can also reverse that character. So it's a good little bait early on. And then we'll go into the one-ofs. We only have one of the Joker Happy-Go-Lucky. But when he's placed on the stage from your hand, you put 1 from your hand in your waiting room and pay 1. You set your deck for 1 villain character, reveal it, and put it in your hand. So that's why we decided to add that one. I wish we had some more, but we don't. Right. Then we have Joker Jokes on You. His auto, you put 1 climax from your hand in your waiting room. When he's placed on the stage from your hand, you may pay the cost. You choose 1 villain character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. Like I said, we are big on being able to return cards from our waiting room back to our hands, because that just helps us play out our strategies better with really anything. Plus, you don't want to have to ditch those good cards and then have to take that chance that you have to reshuffle your deck again, your waiting room back into your deck, and then hope that you get lucky enough to draw it. So these cards just help you get them a lot easier. But we have Penguin, Weaponized Wagaza. I think I said that right. But all of your other villain characters get plus 500. And for 1, you can choose one of your opponent's center stage characters and negate 1,000 power until the end of turn with him. So, of course, we only had the one of him. But he's really good too. I wish we had some more. Deathstroke, we only have the 1 Deathstroke. Needs more. But when he attacks, you choose one of your other characters, and that character gets plus X power until end of turn, and X is equal to that character's soul times 1,000. So he's good early game, he's good late game. Just in general, he's a really good card, especially for the villain stuff. Now we tossed in the Gorilla Grodd, assembling the pieces, because if he's on the stage, he gets villain. But for 1 and placing 2 cards from your hand, you can search your deck for up to 2 characters with Castle in its card name, reveal them, and put them in your hand just whenever he's played. So we really need more of him. Unfortunately, like I said, we only have the 1. Alright, so that's all for the level zeros. And guys, if you've liked that so far, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos and hit that little notification bell so that you can see whenever we upload a new video as soon as possible. We've got a lot of really good stuff about to come out. We really enjoyed the support so far, guys. We feel the love, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you for that. And anyways, back on to the villain stuff. We have 2 of the Unyielding Fortitudes. They're backup event cards, but if you do not have a villain character, this card cannot be played from your hand. But you choose one character, and that character gets the following ability to end a turn. It's a continuous. This card cannot become reversed. So it is a very good backup. I want 4, only have the 2. But then we have the Red Robin, Battle on the Big Boat. He's another level 1 backup. He adds 1500 to one of your characters being frontal attacked. Want more of him, only have the 2. Then we have 2 Lord Jokers. He starts at 5,000, but when he attacks, if you have 2 or more other villain characters, he gets an additional 2,000 power. So he's a level 1, cost 0, and can be a 7,000 power attacker. So that can be really good. Okay. Then we have 3 of the Penguin Castle. If it's in the right position of your center stage, he gets an additional 3,000 power, putting him at 30 or 6,500. You can put 1 card from your hand in your waiting room. When this card's trigger check reveals a card with a little gold bar trigger, you choose 1 card in your clock, return it to your hand, and put the top card of your deck into your clock. So it's very situational, but that extra 3,000 power is what's really helpful. We have 1 of the It's a Disguise. You choose 1 of your villain characters and put it in your waiting room. If you do, choose 1 character in your waiting room with level equal to or lower than your level with Harley Quinn in its name and put it on any position of your stage. I would like some more of her, especially because we do run Harley Quinn in this deck, and it's very helpful. Now, we have 2 of the Efflorescence. But first off, you get to choose 1 of your opponent's characters and negate 2,500 power until end of turn off of it. You can choose 1 of your Joker Amnesia cards if you decide to run those, and put it into the waiting room and choose the up to 1 Joker Nemesis in your hand and put it on that same stage position. We didn't run the Joker Amnesia, but we do run the Harley Quinn Amnesia because we also run the Harley Quinn Bombs Away. Because in my honest opinion, that one was better to run than the Joker Amnesia and the Joker Nemesis. But like I said, it does the same thing with the Harley Quinn Amnesia. It gives it that ability so that you can play the Harley Quinn Bombs Away. And this is the Harley Quinn Bombs Away. We have 3 of her. She's a level 2, cost 2. But it gets plus 1,000 power for each of your other villain characters. And when it's placed on the stage in your hand, if you have 4 or more other villain characters, you can choose 1 villain character in your waiting room and put it into your stock. So, very helpful. And she is a big time attacker. We have 2 of the Two-Face Castle. If it's in the left position of your backstage, all your other villain characters get plus 1,000 power. And when a climax is placed in your climax area, you choose 1 of your characters, and that character gets another 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. And he starts off with 6,500. Then we have 1 of the Rock in a Hard Place event cards. But if you don't have a character with Joker in its card name, this card can't be played from your hand. But if you do, your opponent may choose 1 level 2 or lower character on your opponent's backstage and put it into his or her waiting room. If they don't, it deals 1 damage to them. Then we have the Harley Quinn Battle on the Big Boat. She is a level 2 backup that adds 3,000 But also, when you use her backup, put the top X cards of your opponent's deck in her waiting room, and X is equal to the number of villain characters that you have. Then on to the low. So we have the Red Hood that we added in here, just because I like his effect. During your turn, he gets an additional 500 power for each of your other weapon characters, which there are some weapon characters in here. But second auto is when this card is placed on the stage of your hand, draw up to one card, and he gets additional 2,000 power until the end of turn. And you can pay 2 and put 2 cards in your hand. When this card's battle opponent becomes reversed, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 5 damage to your opponent, which damage may be canceled. But that's very helpful, especially when you're trying to go for the end. And then we have Joker. There are 2 or less climax in your waiting room. This card gets -1 level while in your hand, so he can become a level 2. He gets 1,000 power for each of your other villain characters on your backstage. When it's placed on the stage from your hand, look at up to X cards on the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 card from among them, put it in your hand, and the rest in your waiting room, and X is equal to the number of villain characters that you have. Then we have the Joker Balloon. We don't have all the castles. We don't have the Deathstroke castle. But it was just fun to add him in here. I like the way the card looks. But when it's placed on the stage from your hand, you drop to 2 cards. Choose 2 cards in your hand, put them in your waiting room, and put 1 card from the top of your deck in your stock. It's climax combo. You can pay 2, put 1 villain from your hand in the waiting room. And when Fusion of the Felons is placed in your climax area, if this card is in your center stage and you have another Two-Face Castle, Deathstroke Castle, Penguin Castle, and Poison Ivy Castle, you may pay the cost. If you do, deal 4 damage to your opponent, choose 1 level 3 or lower character facing this card, and put it into your opponent's clock. So if we had that Deathstroke Castle, we would definitely be using that because that's cool. But for fun, we added the Exploding Barrel. It's a level 3, costs 4, but it's deal 4 damage to all players, and choose 1 level 3 or lower character on your opponent's center stage and put it into his or her waiting room. So it's very situational. You definitely don't want to kill yourself, but it's funny at the same time. Now for a climax combo, of course, 1,000 power, 1 soul. And when it triggers, you may put the top card of your deck into your stock. So there's 2 of those. Then we have a dual trigger. We have 2 of these. When this card is placed on your climax area from your hand, you choose 1 green card in your waiting room, put it in your stock, and all your characters get an additional 1 soul until the end of turn. Then we have Bat Swarm, 1,000 power, 1 soul. When it triggers, you may choose 1 character in your waiting room and return it to your hand. And then we have another dual trigger. Same thing as the green one, except this time it's choose a red card from your waiting room and put it into your stock, and your characters get +1 soul. So, like I said, that is our little fun Joker villain deck from the Batman Ninja. So, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know down there in the comments what you thought about this, what you think would be good to add in there and take out. And as always, guys, thank you so much for the love and support, and we will see you all next time.